San Francisco officials encourage people to be fully vaccinated against MPOX. This is an NBC Bay Area article published May 29th, 2024. It is very similar, if not almost exactly the same as San Francisco's government, their public health department's announcement. San Francisco encourages MPOX vaccination as summer approaches, and it's a press release. And we're going to talk all about this. But first, since we're talking about the latest in pandemics and mass vaccination campaigns and potential resistance and the public health world and the mess that it is, and also health freedom, you can support me by checking out one of my sponsors, TELYRX. If you go to telyrx.club/AllisonM, you get 20% off your order. This is an online pharmacy that requires no medical data, no personal medical information from you. You consent to the drug. You have an emergency like me, you need an EpiPen, and you don't want to pay what your pharmacy is charging because they're way jacked up. And TELYRX is direct to consumer, so they are very cheap compared to your local pharmacy. Plus, you get 20% off at my website with them, telyrx.club/AllisonM. But you don't need a prescription because you're consenting to drug. A doctor reviews your consent. You're consenting to the symptoms and what the drug is used for. And the doctor approves your prescription. Through that process, within a day, they ship it to you and you get it. Story for the day. We're talking about San Francisco officials encourage people to be vaccinated against MPOX. And this, again, like I said, is an NBC article. I was supposed to have Dr. Nass on, Dr. Meryl Nass on to talk about this. I don't know where she is. She didn't show up, and the show must go on because I actually have somebody helping me with babysitting, and I don't waste that opportunity. So I saw that she wrote about this, and I'm going to show you her article in a second. But first, I want to talk about the similarities because we discuss media on the show a lot, and I want to show you how similar these are because as somebody who used to be really asleep to all this, I was also regurgitating press releases from these public agencies. I took the public health department at face value. I just thought they were sending us the truth and nothing but the truth. And I had no problem just regurgitating it until I completely defamed a doctor once, and his son had enough spine to call me and tell me I was a terrible reporter. And at least I listened to him, and I went back and interviewed the doctor, and I felt really terrible. It was a terrible situation. And anyway, that really woke me up to how this all works. I mean, I had a lot to learn still, but at least I was aware that you can't just listen to the Department of Health. But that's not the awakening we've seen across the media. So anyway, this is what NBC is saying. With summer approaching and Pride celebrations nearing, San Francisco public health officials are again encouraging residents to be fully vaccinated against MPOX, known also as monkeypox. Well, I think it's called moneypox. I don't think you pronounce the K, but MPOX, call it that. San Francisco Department of Health said Tuesday that while there is not currently a rise in MPOX cases in the city, the virus still circulates in the U.S. So they're saying themselves, like, whatever you even think about MPOX, like what it really is, or if it even exists at all, it's just funny. Their line is like, there's really no rise in cases, but we still think you should go get vaccinated. The agency also noted the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is monitoring an outbreak of a different strain of the MPOX virus that causes more severe disease and is currently spreading in the Congo. With summer celebrations such as Pride approaching, now is a great time to protect yourself against MPOX by getting vaccinated. The MPOX vaccine is available through health systems and at clinics, San Francisco Health Officer Dr. Susan Phillips said in a statement. Quote, even if you are fully vaccinated, it is still important to remain diligent since no vaccine is 100% effective. If you are experiencing symptoms of MPOX, such as a rash that looks like pimples or blisters, talk to your healthcare provider about getting tested and talk to your partners so they can be informed and prevent the spread of infection. They say it takes 2 doses of the vaccine. They have another quote from the Department of Health, and then says they encourage 2-dose vaccination for all people living with HIV. Okay, so let's go look at what the Department of Health said. This is them. Okay, so they're saying they're encouraging people to take care of their sexual health as summer approaches by being fully vaccinated for MPOX. While there is not currently a rise in MPOX cases in San Francisco, so okay, that's what NBC had, right? They quoted that the virus continues to circulate. In addition, the Centers for Disease Control is monitoring outbreak. Okay, that's exactly what the NBC article wrote. Same thing, right? So that there's no rising cases in San Francisco, but there's this thing in the Congo, and the CDC says this. No question of that. No asking anything about it. Just regurgitating exactly what they say. Then it says this is almost exactly what NBC had at the end of the article. It takes 2 doses to be fully vaccinated. Okay, they can second dose of the MPOX vaccine if it's been at least 28 days, blah, blah, blah. Booster doses are not recommended. MPOX vaccination is not recommended at this time for those who have been previously infected. Look at this. Let me go back to the bottom here, okay? Look at this. Hang on. Where was it? I got to go find it. Here, right here. Okay, this is the quote. Second dose, been at least 28 days. No need to restart the 2 doses. Booster doses not recommended for those who have completed 2 doses. In addition, MPOX vaccination not recommended at the time for been previously infected. Okay. I mean, do you see? It's almost exactly what they write. Okay, and then they switched the quotes around. So like this was at the beginning. This quote they put right up at the beginning. With summer celebrations such as Pride approaching, now is a great time to get vaccinated. Look at this. Okay. With summer and Pride celebrations nearing, San Francisco public health officials are again encouraging residents to get fully vaccinated. Let's go back. Okay, well, anyone who wants protection from MPOX infection may seek vaccine. SFDPH strongly recommends and encourages 2-dose vaccination for all people living with HIV, non-binary people, trans people, people who have sex with men. Look right here. Okay, let's go back down. The health department recommends and encourages 2-dose vaccination for all people living with HIV, anyone taking or eligible to take HIV, PrEP, and all men, trans people, non-binary people who have sex with men, trans people, or non-binary people. So it's just, they just swap it around, and then they add, this is the Department of Health. They have to throw in everything else about sexually transmitted infections, as they call it now, not diseases. So anyway, but NBC stopped at this. And it is almost word for word exactly what the Department of Health has. So I just figured I would show, that's just how it works. There's like no questioning of it, no criticism, no pushback. And why is it this way? I think journalists often think they're like working on the same team as the government. There's very little skepticism unless the government is politically aligned differently than they think against their cognitive bias. And like we saw that with Trump. Then it was just, they were just dogged all the time, nonstop. So if they're not interested in the topic, or, it's vaccines and they love vaccines, and so why would they even question it? Then of course, yeah, they're just going to regurgitate everything that the Department of Health says. And anyway, I just figured I would show you guys that because I thought that was really interesting. You're probably going to need a good glass of wine next time you watch the news, because you're looking at this and you're like, wow, in order for any of this to make any sense or to be interesting whatsoever, I need a good glass of wine. And I've got one for you. Also, I have great gifts with my wine. If you go to AllisonWinePromo.com, you join the wine club. When you join the wine club, without having to think about it, every 3 months you get 6 new bottles of wine. These are all amazing wines. Besides the fact they support my work, you can give them as a gift and say, this supports Allison's channel. This supports free speech. This supports giving a voice to the people who often get censored. It just comes with a great story, but it's also just great wine. These are from hand harvested, small batch, old winemaking techniques, natural fermentation. It's like the foodie's wine of all foodie wines, and many of them from extreme altitudes. It's just a really great product. All the wines you're going to get are amazing, and they will always be there for you to take as a gift. You'll never show up empty-handed to one of those dinners where it's just going to be a real pain because you don't like these people, but you have to go. You have to go because you unfriended them during COVID, and now you're trying to make amends. Bring them a good glass of wine. AllisonWinePromo.com. Hope to see you over there. Okay, and you know what? Another great way to support is to send me some mail. You can go to P.O. Box 3355, Denellen, Florida, 34432. I really love the mail that I get there. I've been hearing from people over the last, I set it up, about a year ago, and I get all kinds of great mail. I'm looking for something right now. I got like this postcard here from Chip and Sherry in the Seattle area. So that was very nice of them. And we are trying to, in a timely fashion, get everybody some artwork from the producers. If you send me your loose pocket change, help me become an elitist. I'm trying to become an elitist this year. It's not working so far. But if you want to help send some loose pocket change or a winning lottery ticket to P.O. Box 3355, Denellen, Florida, 34432. over on Locals, aliceamaro.locals.com, $5 a month to go one-on-one with the most censored people on the internet. We also have questions and stuff for Dr. Nass, which is going to happen when she comes on, if she is around. Yeah, someone's like, I hope she's okay. Me too. I hope she's okay. It's not like her to bail like that, but I also think she's probably fine and maybe just had some kind of commitment. Maybe she forgot. She's a very, very busy lady. So, you just never know. Let me show you Dr. Nass's article, okay? Because this is interesting. She wrote about all of this on her Substack. Here we go again, MPOX. If we don't stop the globalist agenda, we will enter the era of pandemics. Bird flu, monkeypox, or MPOX, dengue. What do they plan next? And they have licensed vaccines for all three. Now, this is what I thought was really interesting. She says they are recommending the vaccine for 5-year-olds. Why are they recommending a vaccine for 5-year-olds is for allegedly a sexually transmitted disease? I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense to me. Can somebody explain to me? I mean, maybe they would be like, oh, well, because, fluids, bodily fluids, and, you cough on someone or something. I don't know what the reasoning is behind this. But of course now, okay, she's saying that. I didn't see that in the public health article, but she's saying that they're recommending it for 5-year-olds. She's saying that, it does cause myocarditis and probably does not work. And MPOX is very mild, equivalent to shingles. She's written a ton of articles about it. Anyway, she says basically the same thing I read you from the article. And I guess this is a picture of the vaccines. So anyway, that's just interesting. She has this spread of MPOX in Congo for first time, record outbreak, and then so she has all these articles that she wrote. So you can go check them out at merylnass.substack.com. Speaking of which, I have a Substack now, which the Bonner Wine folks are helping me put together too, because I need help because I have no time because I have 2 young kids and a farm. But anyway, go find me on Substack and sign up. That way you'll always be in the loop. She, however, makes a fair point. And I thought, honestly, they were going to push MPOX like a lot harder. Last year when we were all talking about it, it's kind of been quiet. So I was surprised we didn't hear more about it, because I thought for sure this was going to be like the next thing. But I don't know. Maybe it'll go away. Maybe something else will come. And it'll be something. I mean, there'll always be something.